So Update 2 was released for Battlefield 2042, and it was supposed to fix a load of critical issues, and they're supposed to be working on like the main parts of the game that are broken, and one of those things is the connection to the game. And I play on the Xbox Series X, but I also play hardwired, so I have an Ethernet cable running all the way from my console and my PC directly into my internet router. And there is nothing wrong with my connection. I have like a 75 down and an 18 or 19 up. And as far as I'm aware, the Xbox only uses about 3 or 4 megabytes down, or something like that. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with my connection. It works perfectly on every other game. But if you take a look at this footage, and this is really starting to become irritating now, because there are hundreds of thousands of people that are wanting to play this game and play it in a smooth sort of way, to the point where they're going to work, they're coming home, they're having fun, they're waking up, they're thinking about Battlefield, they're playing it, they're enjoying their experience. It's already tough as it is, only having 22 weapons in the entire game, and having a lot of people jumping to Portal, because that's more Battlefield than the main Battlefield mode itself. But then you have the things that start taking the piss. And I'm absolutely fuming, because update number 2 is supposed to make things better in the game. But it hasn't. It's made things worse. If you take a look at the footage, you will see that I can barely move around this map. This is Hourglass, and is one of the 7 maps available to players. And about 9 minutes into the game, this started happening where I could barely move. And this lasted like solid for about 3 minutes. But then, after that, for the rest of the match, for the majority of it, the connection seemed to be okay. But every now and then, I would get this dodgy lag where I could pretty much not move my character. A lot of the time when this stuff happens, the server fails, everybody gets disconnected, and you go back to the main menu and you search again. In the last few years, off the top of my memory, I can't actually recall having a connection this bad on a server. I've played some of the worst games for matchmaking and connections, Outriders being one of them, and I have never had it to the point where I almost physically cannot move. I've had incredibly bad connections, don't get me wrong, but this tops the list. This lasted for a good portion of the match. So DICE, EA, pull yourselves together. Get some proper fucking fixes in Battlefield 2042. The rest of the stuff they were supposed to fix didn't even really make a difference. Vehicles are still stupidly overpowered. There's just so much wrong with this game. I'm not saying the game's never going to be in a really good state. I'm not saying the game's not fun to play, because I keep loading it up to play it again. But I am saying this is not acceptable when you've made a tiny game, like basically your all-out warfare, your main multiplayer mode in a multiplayer-only game, having 7 maps, 22 weapons. There are 29 tags you can get for your player card in a full AAA $60, $70 game, with the biggest edition of it costing you $120 or about £110. Paying that much money for this bad of an experience is not acceptable. And we've seen this sort of stuff in games before. DICE are planning other updates. They have another one coming within the next month, and they're also working on extra updates for after that, shortly after it. We know the game's live service is going to be getting content added to it over a period of time, but they need to get it into a good working state where the experience is enjoyable. I'm not even going to say 9 times out of 10. I'm going to say 6 times out of 10. Because at the moment, we're running on a 1 or 2 out of 10. You play 10 matches, 1 or 2 of them matches are going to be smooth. That's how bad we're talking. And also at the same time, we are talking about my personal experience. What I want you guys to do is let me know yours in the comments, whether you've got a good connection or not when you are playing this game. And also, PC players, do you have a smooth frame rate? Have they done anything to that in update number 2? Because I've seen a lot of high-end machines not able to play with over like 60, 70 FPS, and they've like high-end expensive computers. But let me know all that good stuff in the comments. I will see you in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.